The Untold Story of Rahab, narration script. In the ancient city of Jericho, tall walls rose proudly against the desert sky. To outsiders, Jericho seemed invincible. Its gates were strong, its soldiers fierce, and its people confident. Yet within those mighty walls lived a woman whose name would echo through history: Rahab. Rahab was not a noblewoman. She was not wealthy or respected. In fact, she was often whispered about, her reputation clouded by her past as a harlot. Many dismissed her as unworthy, as someone whose life had no meaning beyond her mistakes. But where men saw shame, God saw possibility. One day, news reached Jericho that shook the hearts of its people. The Israelites, a nation wandering the wilderness for 40 years, were coming. They had crossed the Jordan River, and their God had given them victory after victory. Jericho was their next target. Fear spread through the city like wildfire. But Rahab had been watching, listening. She had heard the stories of the Red Sea parting, of Pharaoh's army drowning, and of the mighty kings defeated by Israel. Deep inside, she knew this was no ordinary nation. Their God was real, and he was with them. Late one evening, as shadows fell over Jericho, two strangers arrived at Rahab's house. They were Israelites, spies sent to survey the land. Rahab immediately recognized the danger. If the king's men discovered them, they would be executed, and she with them. Yet something stirred within her heart. She chose faith over fear. Quickly, Rahab led the men up to her roof and hid them beneath bundles of flax. Moments later, pounding fists struck her door. The king's messengers demanded, "Bring out the men who came to you, for they have come to spy out the land." Rahab faced a choice. She could betray the spies to save herself, or she could protect them and risk everything. With calm determination, she told the soldiers, "Yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they were from." At dusk, when it was time to close the city gate, they left. "I don't know which way they went. Go after them quickly, you may catch up with them." Believing her, the soldiers hurried out of the city in pursuit, and the gates of Jericho closed behind them. When the night grew still, Rahab climbed to the roof. She looked into the eyes of the two spies and spoke words that revealed the depth of her faith. "I know that the Lord has given this land to you. Fear has fallen on us because of what we've heard. Your God is the God in heaven above and on the earth below. Now then, swear to me by the Lord that you will show kindness to my family, because I have shown kindness to you." The spies agreed, "Our lives for your lives. When the Lord gives us the land, we will treat you kindly. Tie this scarlet cord in your window and bring your family into your house. Whoever is inside will be spared." That scarlet cord, a simple rope, became a symbol of salvation. Days later, when Israel marched around Jericho and the walls came crashing down by the power of God, Rahab's house stood firm. She and her family were spared, rescued because of her courage and her faith. But Rahab's story does not end there. She became part of the nation of Israel, marrying a man named Salmon. Together, they had a son named Boaz, the same Boaz who would one day marry Ruth. Generations later, from her line came King David, and eventually Jesus Christ himself. From a harlot in Jericho to a heroine of faith, Rahab's name is forever written in the lineage of the Messiah. The book of Hebrews honors her among the heroes of faith, declaring, "By faith the prostitute Rahab, because she welcomed the spies, was not killed with those who were disobedient." Rahab's life is proof that your past does not determine your future. God does not choose the qualified, he qualifies those who choose him. So the next time you feel disqualified by your mistakes, remember Rahab. Remember the scarlet cord hanging in her window. And remember the God who can take a broken past and weave it into his eternal story of redemption. This is the untold story of Rahab, a woman who believed and whose faith changed the world forever.